I came to Taiwan when they were promoting Taiwan as the real China. That was during the Cultural Revolution, right? And so according to the Taiwanese, the Chinese had destroyed their culture in the Cultural Revolution. And if I really wanted to see the real China, I had to come to Taiwan. Taiwan is very, very beautiful, but I don't think they know what they're doing when it comes to making use of that beauty.
This video is sponsored by Surfshark VPN. VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. It's a simple way to protect your privacy online and gain full access to contents around the world. Surfshark is a VPN provider with over 3,200 servers in over 100 countries around the world. When you connect to the internet using Surfshark VPN, you can protect your online activities and appear to be in any of these locations. This means you can use popular apps and services that are censored where you are. For example, Facebook, YouTube, and many other streaming video platforms have content restricted in different countries, which can be unlocked by using a VPN. Surfshark's app also integrates antivirus protection, private search engine, etc. It's cheap and has no limits on device per subscription, meaning you can use multiple devices at the same time, which is very rare. You can use the exclusive discount code Welcome to Taiwan in the description below to get an exclusive deal plus 3 months extra for free safe use of services around the world with a 30-day money-back guaranteed if you're not satisfied. So join Surfshark now.
My name is Jim Steed. My Chinese name is Di Jianshi. Di na Di, Jianguo de Jian, Shijie de Shi. And I've been in Taiwan since 1976.
Wow.
And that's close to 50 years. Yes. And I came to Taiwan to learn Mandarin Chinese at Donghai University and teach there. After 1 year at Donghai, I moved to Taipei, where I taught at Taiwan University for 6 or 7 years. Ran a language school there and made a tourist map of Taipei. Then I moved to Kaohsiung.
Going back memory lane from 1976, you came here to learn Chinese. What's the main reason why you choose to come here to learn Chinese?
I was working in the international office, international student and faculty affairs at my university in the United States. And there I met some people from Taiwan. And I really liked the people from Taiwan. And I began to make more and more friends with them. They even taught me how to cook Chinese food there. And I started learning Chinese there, and then it came time for me to graduate, and I did not want to go back home, which is not interesting at all, and the only thing people do there is smoke cigarettes and drink. So I thought, I want to get away from there. So I think I'll go to Taiwan. So I went to Taiwan, because all my friends were in Taiwan anyway. Right, so that's how I ended up here.
What advice would you give to a first-time visitor in Taiwan?
I take people out, and I don't even think of what to show them anymore, because I take everything for granted. I remember one time my sister came to visit me. I was going to cook dinner that night, and we went to the market. I asked my sister which chicken you like, and she said she liked that chicken. It was a live chicken running around. And I said, that chicken, and they grabbed the chicken, cut its head off, and threw it in this thing that ripped its feathers off. And my sister would just scream, oh my God, what have you done to the poor chicken? She thought it was cute, right? But I didn't even think about it. Right, that's how you get a chicken, you know. So, but it really freaked my sister out very. So, like, I don't know what is going to affect people or not. Taiwanese are very friendly, all right, and they like to meet new people. So it's really kind of easy for people to come here and visit.
I've heard so many people claim that no matter how long you've been here as a foreigner, Taiwanese still sees you as a foreigner.
Always.
In your case, how are the Taiwanese seeing you still being here for almost 50 years?
I am Taiwanese. I gave up my U.S. citizenship. I have a Taiwan citizenship, but they would never consider me Taiwanese at all. or even consider me. Yeah, they wouldn't consider me Taiwanese at all. Yeah.
Interesting.
I've been here forever. My Chinese is very good, and my entire life I've been here basically since I was 23. I'm 72 now, you know, so you know, they would never consider me Taiwanese at all. Yeah.
If you are to change anything in Taiwan, what would it be?
I would like for them to be more open to foreigners. They say they're open to foreigners, and they say they treat foreigners very well, but people are very nice to foreigners, but officially it's very difficult for foreigners to get things done, right? They cannot, it's very difficult for them to get bank accounts. It's very difficult for them to get credit cards. It's very difficult for them to get the things that other people get very easily.
And get a house.
Right. To even get a house. For me, I bought a house in Kaohsiung, right? And so I didn't even know I could buy a house. All right, only one of my friends did it because everyone believes foreigners can't buy houses. I just think Taiwan should be, officially should be more open to foreigners here, to be more helpful, because they're having a population decline here. It would be good if they got an increase in population. You know, they're not going to start increasing the population themselves, and so there is opportunity. That's kind of what I would like to see them do. Although it doesn't bother me anymore because I'm Taiwanese. I don't have any problem now. Mm-hmm. Right, everything is very easy for me now. I can do lots of things now that I couldn't do before. All during the time that I wasn't a Taiwan citizen, I was paying taxes between 25% and 30%, but I couldn't do anything because I wasn't Taiwanese. Mm-hmm. You're paying out all these taxes, but you have no rights. You know, that's kind of a mess. So I think they could change that a little. Mm-hmm. If they wanted to. That's what I think, anyway.
What advice would you give to foreigners who wishes to become Taiwanese?
That's very different. I mean, people think I'm crazy for giving up my U.S. citizenship. Even the American government thinks I'm crazy. Before, when I went to AIT, it was very easy. They welcomed me and blah, 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 blah. And now if I go there, what are you doing here? You need this, you need that to come here. You're not it's very different now, right, for me. So you need to think about that carefully, all right? And the problem is that you've got all of this problems with China and stuff going on, all right? Mm-hmm. So my friends said, Jim, if you're attacked in Taiwan, nobody's going to come save you. You're on your own. There will be no helicopter taking me away.
Do you have anything to tell foreigners who are worried about this?
I think everybody knows what's going on there. Taiwan doesn't want to be ruled by China, and China thinks they have the right to rule them because they think Taiwan has always been their property anyway. However, Taiwan has changed. I came to Taiwan when they were promoting Taiwan as the real China. That was during the Cultural Revolution, mm-hmm. right? And so according to the Taiwanese, the Chinese had destroyed their culture in the Cultural Revolution. And if I really wanted to see the real China, I had to come to Taiwan, all right? Mm-hmm. And that's how they promoted themselves. And the real China was in Taiwan. Of course, now today, everybody's saying we're not China. So there's a big change.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I'm not really fond of America and the way it handles it, because America just wants to sell weapons, mm-hmm. right? And America doesn't fight wars to win them anymore. They only fight wars to destroy people's economies, all right? So while they are trying to, if this war happened, they would be working to destroy China's economy. But here we are in Taiwan in the middle of it, and I find that very disturbing, all right, that we would have to be caught in the middle of that. right? I'm hoping someday there will be some kind of miracle happens where there is some, I hope maybe, I wish China would become a little bit more democratic, you know. I wish Taiwan to be a little less fearful than they are, you know, because actually the Chinese people in China really like the Taiwanese people, right? They don't have any beef with the Taiwanese. It's just the governments, all right? It's all government stuff.
So you came here to learn Chinese. Why do you decide to stay this long?
Well, I was coming to Taiwan to learn Chinese, and I was going to do that for 2 years, and then I was going to move to Iran and study Farsi there, because I think Farsi is a beautiful language, and so I thought I might go to Iran to study Farsi, but then they had a big political problem with Americans. Americans going to Iran would be very dangerous back then. So I had 2 very, very good jobs in Taipei, so I just stayed.
Being here this long, working here, how is it like working in Taiwan as a foreigner?
Everybody's experience is different, all right? For me, I've always been very lucky. Now I don't think it's so wonderful. The salaries here have not gone up for teachers in a long, long time. So although the Taiwanese think foreigners making a lot of money teaching English, in fact, they're not. So I don't think that teaching is such a good thing here at the moment. There's not many other things for people to do here, but for foreigners to do here, but to teach English. I don't think it's that great of a place to work for most foreigners. Used to. Now because the population declined, so there's not that many students anymore. Plus, the students are a lot different now than they used to be. They used to be very hardworking, but now they're not so hardworking, and they don't have much of an attention span. I was making them work very hard, and their English went up very fast. But now, no. You're lucky if they will give you 3 hours a week, and if you give them any homework, about 1/10 of them will do it. That's why I retired a few years early from the university. I'm an editor, so I edit medical and scientific research. I also use a machine called the Time Waver from Germany that will read the frequencies around you. Everything has a frequency, all right, everything. This table, your words, your thoughts, everything has a frequency. They have recorded frequencies of over 50,000 people. And the frequencies of gemstones, and the frequencies of essential oils, and the frequencies of every single different mantra, the frequencies of the different angels in the Christian religion. They've done all of this recording of frequencies and of words, and then they read your frequency and they match it with, they call what resonates. So they interpret the information around you by finding the frequencies you have with the frequencies that they have matched, all right? So it gives you the information around you, all right? What's interesting about that is it gives you a pretty deep insight into what's going on around you, what you know, and some of it you don't know, and then it can adjust them, because it's all based on quantum mechanics, right? So in the quantum field, there is no space, there is no time. So that's been a very interesting thing. In fact, I'm going to Germany probably next year to buy a bigger and better machine. Right. I've done hypnotherapy with people, training people for meditation, and then changing things about people using hypnosis, right? But I don't do that so much anymore because it's much easier for me just to use the machine. I don't have to get dressed. I don't have to get dressed. I don't have to prepare anything. I just turn on the machine.
All right. His Facebook link will be in the description below. You can check him out.
Welcome.
Yeah. So So you made a tourist map of Taipei?
Yes, I did. It was a cartoon map. It was called Jim Steed's Hidden Treasure Guide of Taipei.
Is that map?
It was a cartoon map, a huge one, yes.
Is that, where can someone find that map?
You can't find it anymore, it's gone. Right. But I sold a lot of them, yeah.
That's okay.
I sold a lot of them, yeah.
Wow, that would have been a very good...
yeah, a lot of people remember it. I have had people who tried to hunt me down to see if I have one more.
Yeah.
So they want to have it, but I'm afraid I've got the last one. It's very well preserved.
Maybe the Taiwan tourism sector might want to have one of that to put it in somewhere.
Well, the Taiwan Tourist Bureau was very rude to me when I was making it. I went to them for some subsidy and to see if they were interested in producing it, and they said, "Oh, we already have a map." So they had no idea, what I was doing.
You were trying to do.
And they were kind of rude, and so I gave it to a publishing company to do, Caves Books. Caves Books was very happy to take it off my hands and publish it.
That was a very good opportunity.
Right. The Tourist Bureau lost a very good opportunity, actually, because they don't know what they're doing.
How is Taiwan of old, 50 years ago, to Taiwan of now?
Taipei is great because it got all the subways, and so the air got much better in Taipei because of the subway system. Used to, you could go out in Taipei 3 hours, and you'd rub your hand like this, and it would be black. You would have to clean out your nose, and the air was so bad. But now it's not that way. The air is actually very nice in Taipei now. That's great. And another very amazing thing is, used to in Taiwan, you could never, as a pedestrian, cross the road without putting your life in your hand, because the drivers cared nothing about you, right? They would run you over almost. But now, they even in Kaohsiung, they start stopping for people who want to cross the street, and even in Kaohsiung, they're beginning, at least on the main streets, to stop for people to cross the road. All right, that is an amazing change. All right, it used to be the pedestrians were the dogs of the earth here. Now the pedestrians have a little bit easier chance crossing the road. Right. And that's not because the roads are bigger. That's because of the laws, and the people are beginning to get an idea that, there are other people, there are other things on this road besides cars. Right. I came during martial law, so nobody dared talk about politics then. You could talk about anything, you can make all the money you want, but you just stayed away from politics. But now everybody it's politics all over the place. But just like America, the politics is a bunch of baloney. It's a bunch of lies here and lies there. This group fighting that group, and you never know who's telling the truth. It's the same problem here as they have in America. America's a mess right now itself, right? So,
being an educator or being in the field of education, how is the education system in Taiwan compared to maybe Israel or America?
The problem with Taiwan is they keep hanging on to 1970s, 1980s teaching methods. They never improve their teaching methods, so it doesn't really change. I remember one time I was working for a publisher, a Taiwan publisher, book company, and then an American publishing company came, and they had this old book. I bet it was a 1950s or a 1960s book. They said, they were kind of embarrassed to ask if I might be interested in it. I said, sure, give me 5,000 of these books. And the owner looked terribly at me, and thought I was out of my mind for ordering this old book. They came. They were sold out within a year, so fast. And the owner asked me, Jim, how did you know that book was going to sell like that? I said, because the teachers don't learn new ways. And my teaching method is was very special, all right, because I'm a hypnotist, all right? So I kind of understand unconscious learning. In Taiwan, they say, well, okay, you need to make a lesson plan. And they said, you really need a lesson plan for that. You have to have a lesson plan. And this is what's wrong with their thinking. When you create a lesson plan, you have one student in your mind, and that student knows certain things, and that student doesn't know other things, so you write a lesson plan for him or her. The problem is the Taiwan students are at many, 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 many different levels. You cannot write a lesson plan for a class of students of 4 or 5 different levels. So you need another approach to teaching.
Do you have anything else to tell Taiwanese people or to tell your fellow countrymen?
Tell my fellow countrymen, no, that's all I have to say. One of the problems with Taiwan is they see American businessmen or foreign businessmen come to Taiwan, and their government pays, or their businesses pay for them to live in 5-star hotels. And so they automatically think that all American tourists or foreign tourists want concrete and 5-star hotels, right? So anything they build is concrete and 5-star hotels, all right? So it's not very interesting, all right? And it's very expensive. If they could learn something from Thailand, where Thailand, you know, somebody puts up a grass hut and they're full of people. The people are lining up to stay in these grass huts, something a little less sophisticated. Actually, people kind of like. So they've kind of overdeveloped. For example, there was a very beautiful hot spring in Taroko Gorge. It's called Winsan Wenche, right? That was the name of it. All right. Well, it used to be fantastic. Yeah, it used to be you could go there, all right? So you could rip off all your clothes and sit there all day long, and there would not be someone come by at all, all right? So that's how I liked it. Same thing happened in Ludao, in the island Ludao.
Yeah, I know Ludao.
They had a hot spring right in the beach, right by the ocean. There was a hot spring coming out of the beach. Then they put concrete all around it. All right, so it was very nice. Now it's not nice at all. All right, so they really kind of ruin their tourist sites with development. They improve it so much that they kind of destroy it. I mean, if you go to Kanding, when I first went to Kanding, there were goats walking up and down the hill there. And they had 2 big water buffalo just sitting there right by the beach, right? And they would just sit there.
Those are amazing views.
And it was very nice, and it was very beautiful, right? With the goats walking back and forth, and the water buffaloes. Those 2 lazy water buffaloes were there for years and years and years, right? They stayed there, and then now they're gone, of course. Right. Half of the beach is operated by the Caesar Palace Hotel, which is very pretty. And then you see the way the locals on the other half of the beach. Everyone packed together. So here you are at the beach. Beautiful place with a few umbrellas and nice and white and clean. Then over here, a mess, right? So that's what happens, right? So Taiwan is very, very beautiful, but I don't think they know what they're doing when it comes to making use of that beauty. Right. They're overdeveloping very small things. Right. Yeah. Right. Even the Kanding night market was voted the worst on the whole island 1 or 2 years ago. It should have been the best. It should have been very relaxing and this and that. But no, the traffic is going up and down. It's crowded, and the food is overpriced. And all right, so they really kind of destroyed it.
Okay. Thank you very much for giving us your time. And
thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. I hope you enjoy your stay here in Taiwan. I'm not going anywhere.
感谢你们的支持，但是还有很多人还没订阅，请不要忘记订阅、按赞、开启小铃铛，你们的支持是我们的动力，谢谢大家。